Hello there, English speakers. Today we are going to avoid this ice and go into the forest instead. Hopefully on a path, but the dog is trying to drag me into a tree all the time. So we'll see how that goes. Oh. Some stuff. We'll talk a little bit about other coronaviruses and some science and some stupid people, of course. So let's start by taking a big, deep breath. So these American frontline doctors, they are arguing very hard for hydroxychloroquine. And they say that studies show that it's much more effective than ivermectin, and I have not seen that study. I had no idea where I got that from. I've linked down below to a study that showed that ivermectin is more effective. They might have used hydroxychloroquine wrong, and they say it in the study, but I have no idea where they got the idea that hydroxychloroquine would be more effective. I can imagine that hydroxychloroquine is totally useless if you don't have a deficiency in zinc. The idea with the hydroxychloroquine is to help the zinc go into the cell, but it also has other properties which might be replaced by green tea extract and quercetin and other things that you get from some plants. Enough speculation about that. Let's speculate about the viruses. The oldest coronavirus, human coronavirus that we know about, is a betacoronavirus 1. So this is a type of betacoronavirus. Betacoronavirus is the same kind of family of viruses like this current virus, SARS-CoV-2, that I think you have heard about. So this virus called OC43, so it's not the meaning with life, it's a little bit more. OC43, it was, according to its genetics, it probably appeared in the 50s, and a related virus earlier might have caused the Asian flu, or it's also called Asian flu, 1889. So that was a long time ago. They first thought that this was a flu, but the symptoms look way more like SARS and COVID. So they think it might have been a beta coronavirus. Anyhow, the second oldest was discovered in 1965. So this is from Hamre in University of Chicago. 1965 she discovered this virus, which is Alphacoronavirus. And then we have two other human coronaviruses that cause what they call a common cold. These viruses are very new, so they are less than 20 years old ago when they found them the first time. There are big suspicions that these viruses actually come from humans in the way either via vaccines, and then you get some viruses from some animal, and then it gets into the human body, and eventually it will mutate to adapt to the human body and get really dangerous, like the viruses that we already have since a long time ago are not dangerous because, well, everyone is immune to them. And the other thing is, of course, that we have China labs that are leaking viruses all the time, hundreds of them. So of course they do research on coronaviruses too, and then sometimes they leak them even 15 years ago to create yet another cold. Otherwise, if you get one of those corona viruses colds, you get one of the 4 and then you never get it again. So if you eventually get them, you don't have to worry about them, and there haven't been any vaccines for them so far, and not needed maybe. Of course it might have been nice with a good vaccine, but if you have a working immune system, they are generally not dangerous. I got some tip about Nagalase. It seems to be something that happens if you don't eat enough vitamin D. So just eat vitamin D and you don't have to study all the molecular stuff. In Arizona, they goes on with their audit, and now they are looking for a company that should do the audit. So it might take some week, they say, to do this, and yeah, it takes some time, more than that day they were bullshitting about that it should take. We'll see what happens there. We'll follow it. CDC now under Biden seems to be more flexible to do decent stuff, maybe. They removed from their homepage vaccines don't cause autism, because we have no proof that vaccines don't cause autism. So they were threatening with suing and so on. Still on the web page it says there is no link to autism. So they say we don't know, instead of we definitely know that it doesn't do it. So that's the difference. People on Twitter can't read logic and write stupid shit. Don't do that. Or do that and learn logic. Antifa, even here in Sweden, we call them AFA. They have gotten all their Twitter account removed. So when Biden is in charge suddenly, yeah, gone, and I guess Biden can just put up machine guns, and if there are some riots, but because, well, he just get more votes on it, and yeah, he can shoot his own side. You know the old saying from KGB, don't bother with the useful idiots. They will destroy for your enemy, and then you come in and then you shoot them. So that seems to be similar to Biden's approach of handling Antifa. Good for him and good for everyone, I think. Good for Antifa too. They belong in jail or prison. Interesting for you who have a party system with many parties. I thought it was a little bit interesting with how to frame stuff. Our Aftonbladet, that is a left-leaning pro-government paper, says that one of the opposition parties, Moderaterna, which is like the mainstream opposition party, is power hungry. So this is a typical way to create a two-party way of describing well, the political landscape. So instead of having discussions about stuff, they just paint the other side. Oh, that is bad. And what does the other side do? Yeah, they of course complain that the government is power hungry, and then you get this division, and people can say stupid shit to each other without discussing anything, like for example that the both sides are trying to screw the people. So I try to frame this in another way, that our Prime Minister is not power hungry. Actually, he has capitulated to the smaller parties in the parliament. And this is good, because it makes the opposition look ridiculous. it makes our Prime Minister look ridiculous, and it makes the small parties seem evil. So that's the way to reframe stuff, and never ever reply to things like you are bad in this way, okay, you are bad in that way too. That's totally pointless, and you don't make people feel any different about anything. And of course it has nothing to do with logic or anything like that, but that goes without saying. The White House has now decided to actually turn on the comments on YouTube, so good for them. The fascism lasted one day there until Joe Biden were busy, I don't know, firing Antifa from Twitter, so comments are welcome now again. So good, I guess. Disappointing that I can't hate Biden for one more thing, or not. I don't know what to say about it, but I have to report it because I reported that they took away the comments before. Bill Gates want to see everyone in masks. Why? We don't know, but it's very important that you bow down to see and do these stupid things that don't help your immune system really, and it causes a lot of problem for German school kids. I linked to that study before. But have you seen Bill Gates in a mask? Nope. I tried to search for one and I did not find, and he is quite public and you can see him quite often. Maybe he has been wearing a mask, I don't know. I just feel like it's typical of Bill Gates, and then we don't know if his children have been vaccinated or not. He says they have, and well, I can think everything about that. I don't care really. German Foreign Office have posted a link where they say they want to cooperate more with the USA, and they have a picture of a scene where they have a copy of the Oval Office, and you can clearly see it's a built-up scene with the cameras in front of it, and then all the QAnon crazies look at this, oh, this is a sign and so on, blah 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 blah. Well, the scene comes from Bild, which is not the former Prime Minister and former Foreign Minister of Sweden, which it is. He's called Carl Bildt, but it's a German news outlet, Bild, without the T on the end. It's spelled Bild, but pronounced Bild because it's German and they can't spit out the toned D in the end. So built up this scene, and now they, for some reason, the German Foreign Office decided to we think this scene symbolize good cooperation with USA or something. I have no idea, but it surely made some attention on Twitter. But don't spend the time on that and think that it means something. I need to mention K2, vitamin K2, not the mountain. The mountain is really high, but K2 is very important for your blood and your blood vessels. It takes out the calcium from your blood and put it in your bones where it belongs. So if you eat a lot of vitamin D, you must not have a shortage of K2, and K2 and vitamin D cooperate together in the immune system and other stuff, so they are both very important, and K2 is a little bit forgotten quite often. You can easily get K2 from well stored cheeses and from eggs, of course, and from liver, but eggs are very easy. You need like 4 eggs per day. Of course you can eat other stuff. All meat and cheeses contain a little bit, so if you eat 1 or 2 eggs it should be enough. And with that, I hope I didn't get too disturbed by being sleepy and the dog dragging me into a tree all the time. He, for some reason, really wants to drag me suddenly in some direction. So, see you tomorrow, and we are on our way there.